Welcome to the top 6 most tragic video game characters. This list is based off of our opinions and no one else's. The rules are simple. The character has to have been left in a doomed situation either due to a cliffhanger at the end of 2014 or is completely ended in a sad manner. Oh, and they have to be a hero or anti-hero of the series. They can't be a villain because if we counted every villain who had a crappy life turning them into a villain, this list would be way too large to handle. Lastly, this is your warning. This video is full of spoilers for older games, mostly the endings. So be ready to stop the video once you hear a hero of a game you might be playing right now. So as this is only a top 6 list, allow us to let you know who the other contenders are and why they didn't make it. Commander Shepard of Mass Effect. Used as a tool of the Reapers until his eventual death that pissed off many gamers. He didn't make our list because basically based on your decisions, his life might not have been that bad. Wanderer of Shadow of Colossus. His quest eventually led him to being absorbed into what appears to be some form of death from beyond the grave. He failed to make our list simply because he gets redemption in the form of a rebirth in Ico. Link of Legend of Zelda. Always the hero of legend, never the guy who could save himself. He's been lost in time, lost to legend, and always destined to return and fight Ganon again. One of the Links even turns into a skeleton warrior because he wanted to pass on his skills since he was going to be forgotten. He didn't make our list because basically it's always a new Link, and the first part of his life isn't normally that bad. Aqua of Kingdom Hearts. Currently doomed to wander in darkness, she got this way by simply wanting to save her friends. But she fails to make her list because it's almost guaranteed that she'll be saved in the next Kingdom Hearts game. Aerith of Final Fantasy VII. We all know this story by now. She eventually has to accept her fate as the last of the Ancients and die to save the world. She failed to make her list because simply put, her life as a flower girl didn't seem so bad. Dark Souls guy of Dark Souls. Just look at what he has to go through in life, death, undeath, and even in one of the endings has you burning yourself alive. He didn't make our list because the other option is Lord of Darkness, and that can't be that bad, can it? John Marston of Red Dead Redemption. A true Old West tale that ends in a true Old West fashion. He just couldn't compare with the rest of the people on our list. Raiden of Metal Gear Solid. Starting his life as a child soldier, and then he was manipulated for his entire life by the philosophers. He would have made our list, except we didn't want to double up on the same game. Everybody who ever gets lost in Silent Hill. Well, we wanted to put these people on the list because every single person who goes to Silent Hill can't ever actually escape. Even the one person who gets away, Harry, eventually gets killed off by people of Silent Hill. But since it is multiple people, we felt that it would be cheating to put them on the list. Now that all the possibilities are mentioned, it's time to open up this top 6 list. Starting with number 6. Solid Snake. Solid Snake is seriously my hero. Like, seriously. Fun side note about me, Infected Crow. 10 years ago when I first went into the military and needed motivation to push through the training, I would hum the Metal Gear Solid theme and pretend that I was Solid Snake preparing for a mission. But that doesn't mean that his life hasn't sucked, and that I most definitely would not want to actually be Solid Snake. Solid Snake is literally a clone of Big Boss, whose sole purpose, it would appear, is as an insurance policy against the Big Boss. As early as his 2nd birthday, he was being manipulated by the Patriots. His first major mission involves stopping Metal Gear and killing his father. Then it's kill another Metal Gear, and kill his father. Then he has to stop another Metal Gear while stopping his clone brother. Then he has to stop another Metal Gear with his buddy Raiden. And finally, he has to stop one more Metal Gear and a villain who has the personality of his brother. But once he stops everything, once it's all over finally, once everything is wrapped up in a nice and little confusing bow, he is told that he has 1 year to live due to the degenerative nature of the cloning process. So basically, save the world, die anyway. Number 5. Bolvar Foredragon. Any fan of World of Warcraft knows this name. Once a mighty knight of the Alliance, he was horribly burned by one of the many plots that happened during the Wrath of the Lich King. But the kicker is what happens once Arthas is finally defeated. The undead are gonna roam around unchecked and basically destroy the World of Warcraft. There needs to be a new Lich King to keep everything in check, or we will forever be doomed. In one final deed of heroism, Bolvar tells Tyrion to inform everybody that the Lich King has died, and that Bolvar has died with him, just before he places the helm of the Lich King on himself. He then becomes the new Lich King. encased in ice as the corruption seeps into his very being. We don't know if we'll ever see him again, but we do know that his fate is not one that any of us would want. Number 4. He's the messenger of time and space. He's Ezio Auditore. While the greatest assassin, Ezio set off on a very fruitless journey right from the start. After losing most of his family and going on a quest for revenge, he ended up learning about this ancient civilization, the first civilization. Then, anytime that he wasn't trying to get revenge for just about everything that had wronged him, he was on a quest to learn exactly what is the first civilization. What are these pieces of Eden? What is the vault? Who are these people? But for his entire life, he was used as a puppet to relay messages back to Desmond in the future. He finally ends his life realizing that he'll never get his answers. He will never find out what's going on, and that everything that he has done is setting up Desmond to figure it all out for him. His final words include something along the lines of, "Hey Desmond, figure this shit out for us because, I don't want my life wasted," because he knows that his life is nothing but mystery and death. Number 4, wait, number man. Number 3, Shion. Her existence is nothing more than an experiment conducted by Organization 13. She was never even supposed to be, and that is shown by what happens when she's finally killed. She discovers that she is the female version of Sora, the lead of the game, and the purpose of her existence is to take Sora's place and steal his memories. She eventually figures all of this out and decides that she can't take Sora's place, so the only thing left to do is kill her off. But you just can't kill someone off who has been built to remove someone else's memories. She has to be removed from everybody else's memories. And that's exactly what happens. Roxas, her only real friend, holds her in his arms as she fades from existence, and no one even remembers that she ever existed. What makes this even worse is the fact that there isn't any real indication that she'll ever be redeemed. She has popped up as an afterimage in Sora's memories, but he has no idea who she is, and no one else does either. Will she get redeemed in the finale, or will she forever be a forgotten memory of Shion who? Number 2. Becomes a villain of legend, a villain of lore, but not before ensuring no one else will ever be more powerful than he is. Gabriel Belmont of Castlevania, Lord of Darkness. All Gabriel wanted was to revive his wife, but throughout his hellish journey, he eventually becomes Dracula himself. But his suffering doesn't end there. He then manages to kill his own son, and then doom his son to the same fate of living forever. And he is then forced to fight off his own bloodline, various other demons, and Satan himself as he tries to keep his title of Lord of Darkness. What makes this such a tragic tale is that before becoming Dracula, Gabriel's purpose was to slay the darkness, not join with the darkness. You see, the story basically is that his order of Brotherhood of Light basically created the demons that he eventually turned into. And the fact is, he never got to revive his wife either. Number 1. Who could possibly lead one of the most tragic lives leading up to their possible end or disaster? Who could top everyone else on this list? Who is a true Greek tragedy? Kratos. So maybe this is cheating. Maybe we shouldn't have even counted him. I mean, it was written entirely to become a Greek tragedy of the modern days. The ghost of Sparta basically became the way he is because of his own bloodlust. He started as a mighty warrior of the Spartan army, and due to a complete and total failure, he cried out to Ares to save him. He struck a deal with Ares to become Ares' soldier, and in return gained the power to defeat all of his enemies. So began his tragic life as he served the gods for many years. But to prove to him that he was just a pawn of the gods, Ares tricked him into killing his own family, and he was then cursed to wear his own family's ashes for all of eternity. Which would be a very long time because he eventually kills Ares and becomes the new god of war. But the gods didn't like Kratos and his attitude, so they tricked him into forfeiting his god powers and they killed him. He then eventually sided with the Titans, but after an entire game, he also betrayed them. And then in his final adventure, he faced off against the Olympians and the Titans. Things for Kratos ended with him seemingly dead alongside the Blade of Olympus. Kratos led a life of violence, vengeance, and spent most of his life being manipulated by just about everybody. Nothing more than a tool, Kratos led a very doomed life. Do you agree with us or do you not? Leave a comment down below and let us know what your list of the top 6 most tragic people in gaming history is. Do you have any ideas for a better top 6 list? Then shoot it over to us and we'll hand you credit for it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and subscribe to the channel. Oh, and by the way, we love you all.